What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV. In this video, we're going to go through some tips and tricks for the TCL 30V, and I call this my first 20, 30 tips and tricks that you can do for this phone. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. First thing, if you want to, this is your home screen right here of everything you have. If you want to change this up a little bit or get a little bit more control, press and hold on an empty spot and go into here. You got wallpapers, themes, widgets, and home settings. We'll go into wallpapers first. You can tap on that, and this is going to be where all your wallpapers are. Not a ton in here, but if you do want to change it, you do have that ability to come in here and change it. So maybe I want to choose this one. I'm going to hit allow, and then I'm going to hit, I'll set it for both my home screen and my lock screen. So there we go. It's going to be done. And then when I'll show you my lock screen as well, you can see it shows it on my lock screen. And come back in here, go to wallpapers, and I can also do it from my photos that I took as well if I don't want to use the ones from the wallpaper store here that they have right on the phone. Going back here, you can also go into themes. They do have what they call themes, nothing crazy here. Basically just changes the look of the phone a little bit. So for instance, you can change the icons. You can make them currently rounded, or you can make them square, or you can make them a little bit of freestyle. So you do have that option. Choose apply with the one that you want. Going back again, you got widgets. Widgets, it's same thing on any other Android phone. If you want to add little apps basically on top of the screen, it will allow you to do that. So if you find one that you like this one, we'll just choose it. I'm going to slap it right there. And I have some information smack dab on top of my screen that I can interact with without having to fully go into that app. One more time, pressing and holding. Let's go into home settings, and you have your home screen style. If you're coming from an iPhone and you want to set it back to look like an iPhone, tap that right there, and you'll see home screen only. If I tap that, it's going to load it, and when I swipe up, it doesn't bring up my apps. All my apps and everything are on my home screen, just like an iPhone would be. So it can be pretty helpful for you in that regard. I don't personally like it that way, so I set it to be the way traditional Android is, which is home screen. I can control these home screens, and then I have all my apps in alphabetical order here. I'll go back into home screen settings again, and there's a couple other things. You can change how big your icons are. If you want to change them to be bigger or smaller, you can. So you can have a little bit more apps on your screens, or less if you want them to be bigger. You have that option, then hit apply at the top. Home settings again, no problem. Then we have, you can fill empty cells. What that means is if you delete an app, or it'll automatically line all the apps up on your home screen that way. Left of home screen, if you turn on, it's currently by default has Google Discover on. You can turn that on or off. So if you turn it off, you're gonna have nothing when you swipe over here. I like seeing that Google feed. I think it's very helpful. It gives you a lot of information. It gives you stuff that you probably search for automatically. So I like to keep that on. And again, that's just this little feed right here that gives you information and stuff that it probably ultimately will be very helpful and topical for you. Beyond that, I like to keep this on add icons to home screen, which is going to be any new apps that are downloaded, they'll automatically be added to your home screen. You can turn that on or off. And then personalized results, I turn that on, which includes personalized results from other apps on the phone. So I like keeping all that stuff on. Now let's go home, swipe up, you have this right here. Now these are all your apps in alphabetical order, but you can change that if you wanted to. You can click on that, and you can have your apps sorted by label or how much you use them, by installation, by icon color, by category. So let's just do icon color. You can see I'll put all the blue apps together, all the white, all the red, all the pink, anything that's colorized, it'll put them all together so you can kind of find them easier if you like it that way. I like them by name, and there you go. Next, let's go into the camera. Inside of the camera, you have all your different features down here. You got your auto mode for photos, you got video mode. In video, if you hit the gear in the top left, some things you can do in here. You can change the quality. I would keep it at 1080p, and you can do that for the front and the back cameras as you switch between them. Another thing, you can change the internal storage. If you have a micro SD card, because this phone does take micro SD cards, you have the ability to change the internal storage to external storage so that it saves them to the micro SD card so that it doesn't take up your internal storage. Very, very cool. Shutter sound, turn that off. If you don't want people to know that you're taking photos of them, turn that off for sure. Very important stuff if you're trying to take a sneaky little photo of somebody. Other than that, pretty easy to use this camera. You have some more features right there if you saw. I just tapped this little thing down here, and you have high pixel panorama, stop motion, light trace, super macro, slow-mo, so a bunch of different. Going back to the home screen, swipe down twice and you'll end up seeing all of your quick toggles here that you have, and you have the ability to just cycle through them if you want to. Click and you have the ones on here. You can hit edit at the bottom here and you can remove some if you don't like, or add some. So you have these ones at the bottom, they're currently not there. So like, say I didn't want to have battery saver on there, or data saver. I'll just pull that down. You can see, and now it's off. I'll hit the checkbox. Very easy. Another cool one that's already built into here, you saw it probably a second ago, screenshot. I can tap that and it will take a screenshot, but I can do that from any screen that I'm on. Let me just get rid of that. There you go. Come on, it tells you. So say I was in here, it doesn't have to just be at the home screen. Say I'm here and I want to take a screenshot, to swipe up really quickly, and you can hit screenshot and it'll take a screenshot. So I love that it has that. Another way to take a screenshot is place one finger on the power, one on the volume down, and then press them together at the same time. And there you go, you can take a screenshot that way as well. Swipe down from the home screen, go to the gear in the top right. This is gonna bring us into settings. Go into Wi-Fi. Inside of Wi-Fi, a couple things I want you to do. Go into Wi-Fi preferences, which is down here at the bottom. Turn on Wi-Fi automatically. Wi-Fi will turn on automatically when high quality saved networks like your home network. So I would keep that on. If you forget to keep your Wi-Fi on because you went to work or drove and you were trying to save some battery life or whatever, keep that on. It'll automatically turn on when you are in Wi-Fi networks you've previously connected to multiple times. Open network notification. Notify when a public network is available. Turn that off. That's when you go somewhere and it tells you, hey, there's a public Wi-Fi network available, or there's an open Wi-Fi network. Turn that off. It's super annoying. You don't want to get bothered by it. I would turn that off. Go back into the main screen of settings. Go into display. Under display, you can change the brightness of your display really easy. Just drag this bar left or right. You can also turn on adaptive brightness. Turn that. I'm keeping it off for this video, but ultimately I usually keep it on. It's going to optimize your brightness level for available light. So if you're in a really sunny environment, it's going to make your display as bright as possible. Otherwise, it'll make it dark if you're in a very dark room or something in the middle. Dark mode, dark light mode brightness. You can adjust that. Dark mode. I love dark mode. I don't have it turned on because of this video, but ultimately, just turn it on if you want to always leave it on. Otherwise, you can do a scheduled time. And maybe you want it to turn on from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. or you can change that to whatever you want. Maybe from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. And there you go. Your dark mode will automatically turn on via your phone. Sleep. This is going to turn off your display. I choose 2 minutes. It's the perfect amount. Trust me. Refresh rate. Don't get confused by this if you're coming from a phone with a high refresh rate. This basically 60 refresh rate is the highest it will go. This smart refresh rate will lower that, but it'll save you some battery life. It's up to you. The phone might feel a little bit weirder if you do that, but might get it slightly better battery life. I would just keep it to 60 if I were you, honestly. Font size, I like mine a little bit larger. That's where you can come in here and change it. Just drag this little bar here. And then when you're done, you just have to let go, hit the back button, go home, and you're ready to go. Status bar, you can show your network speed if you want. Kind of cool, I guess. So I turn that on. It's going to show how fast I am connected to my network. Show battery percentage. You can not show it at all. You can put it inside of the battery. I like it next to the battery, so I keep it like that. And notifications icon folder. You see, I get some notifications up here. If I turn that off, it basically turns those off, and I keep those on. Go back. I think display is all good at that point. So let's go back to the main screen of settings. Go into NXT Vision. All this stuff should automatically turn on, but if it's not, turn it on, guys. It's going to make your display look a little bit better. Image enhancement, video game enhancement. Change your color mode to vivid. You have your reading mode. You can optimize the display by making the reading experience comfortable as physical books. So if you wanted to turn that on, turn it to like a yellowish color. So you can do that. Eye comfort mode as well. You can turn that on and make it a little bit more yellow as well. And then you have sunset display, increase readability under sunlight. So keep all that stuff on right there. Sound and vibration. This is where you can come in and control all of your volumes, your ring, your notifications, your media, and your alarms. You can also turn on silent mode. You also can come in here and change your ringtones very easily. Just click on it, find the one you want. If you like that one, just hit the back button and you're done. You can also choose no ringtones, or you can do a custom one if you downloaded some kind of song, MP3 or something like that. You can easily come in here and choose that. Also changing your notification ringtones. Just choose the one you want. Hit the back button. More sound settings. This is going to be where you can turn off certain things. Like if you don't like the vibrate on touch, which I don't, I turn that off. I turn off touch sounds generally too, so I don't hear that every time I touch something. I don't hear a sound for it. Screen locking sounds, I turn that off. Dial code tones, I turn that off. So I usually turn all of those off. Emergency alerts, this is where they should automatically turn on, but if they're not, you can come in here and turn them on. Like for instance, state and local tests are turned off, so I'm going to turn that on. And you can change it if you get vibrations or alert reminders. So very helpful for wireless emergency alerts. Going back to the settings main menu, we're going to come in here and go to button and gestures. So currently I have the buttons at the bottom. I like that better, and you can come in here and kind of customize those a little bit. So you can switch them around if you want. If you like your back button on the right, you can do that. I like it on the left, so I'm going to keep it over there. And then you have your gestures. You can also do more with your gestures as well. So if you want gesture notifications, or navigation I should say, you now have that. So you can, it tells you how to work it basically. And if I swipe up, oh, it goes home. If I swipe up and hold, it brings up my recent apps. And if I swipe from the right, it goes back. I'll be honest with you, I like the system navigation button still better on Android for most phones, but sometimes I do like it on other phones. The phone has to be a really high performing phone for me to like the button gestures. Otherwise I would, the gesture navigation, otherwise I just choose buttons. Power key, when you come in here, you can quick launch your camera. So press the power button twice, works from any screen. So if your phone is off even, you double press the power button, it's gonna bring up your camera. Very, very helpful. One of my favorite things about Android is to easily bring up the power button or the camera button really, really quickly by double pressing that power button. So very, very helpful. Make sure that's turned on. Power button to end call, I don't use that. And then power key menu, you can come in here and when you do certain things on here, you can show controls when locked and things like that with the power key menu. Going back to settings, you have your advanced features. You can do a remote lock. You can see you can put your phone into lost mode by sending a text message containing a specific command. So you can set all that up if you want. You know, if you're worried about if your phone got stolen or lost. Game mode, very helpful. If you're a gamer and you want to game on this phone, turn this on and you can hide games on the home and app drawer if you want so that they don't show up. The added games will only be shown in Gamebox, so you'd have to open up the Gamebox app. You can block notifications when you're gaming, constant brightness when you're gaming, disable 3-finger screen capture, turbo mode. So you have all that stuff that you can do for when you're gaming. Your screen recorder, you can change the resolution if you want. I'd keep it at 720p. Record touch interactions, I would keep that on so people know where. And then you also have your sound. You can mute the microphone or have the microphone on. You can set up multiple users on here if need be. So if you have a kid and you want to set them up with a user account, or maybe you and your wife or you and your friend share a phone, you can do that as well on here. Smart Manager, this is going to be by sliding up and holding in this area with 2 fingers to enter the private space. So you can optimize your stuff. You can auto start certain apps if you want, or turn them off from automatically doing that. You have your battery control settings. You can go into normal saving mode or super saving mode for your battery. You got your memories. You can clear out apps if you want. Notifications, you can turn those on and off for certain apps. Back to the main screen of settings, security and biometrics. This is where you can come in and set up your face unlock. If you haven't done that, come in here. And you can also add in fingerprints if you want as well. If you added one, you can do that as well. The fingerprints on the back there. You can come into storage. You can manage your SD card or your main storage. You can free up space really easily by clicking up free up space and delete whatever you want. Maybe you don't want that file stuff there. You can free that up and you can free up some space. You can automatically have it do it as well. System updates. If you're looking to update your phone, come into system updates and you can go into here for system update status and check to see if you have updates, or check for new system updates. and it'll check the server if there's any updates for your phone. And that's all the tips and tricks I wanted to show you for this phone. So if you have this phone, there you guys go. Very easy to use and reliable cameras, bunch of cameras, pretty good performance, good fingerprint sensor. Check it out, guys. TCL 30V 5G for Verizon only goes for $299. We'll see you guys down the road. Peace.